Good morning, traders. Thank you for joining on a different day than usual. Thank you for your patience a bit later in the week, but we're still going to do the same. Take a look what happened in August for the expert advisors, the EAs, the automated trading systems designed for MT4, and take a look what happened in August 2020. So let's see what performance on average we had. It could vary, of course, from account to account, as mentioned before, of course. All right, so let's get going. We have a new month ahead of us. Let's see. So far, I think a decent start in this month. All right. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out. And I will check the form where you can always ask questions, of course, to us. And you can let us know what is on your mind, of course, as well. And I'll try to find that in the meantime. There we go. So this is, let's start with Ultima Ea, okay? And this is my personal account. Now, those results could be a little bit different than the profit sharing account because of the broker difference. So that those the small things, small differences can happen. Uh, I about break even in August, just a little bit in plus. So it's been a bit slower the last couple of 3 months, as you can see, but so far September off to a good start at least. That's quite quick. And yeah, long term, as you can see, still way up. We had a bounce at support when using technical analysis as mentioned, and we've had a pretty good rally after that, or recovery, I should say. Part of the reason why you don't see that recovery in the monthly stats is because July had a bigger loss. About here, it was down a lot more, and what happened was that it bumped up and it still closed in negative, but that's why you don't see part of this recovery in those stats because July was down more. Let's take a look at the profit share. I think that one is slightly negative in August. Yes, so still not in positive territory there. But this month is off to a good start at least, as well, just as my own account. 70 trades so far since mid-April, and all in all, the account is up, but not really, that much. Only 29, which, yeah, I say only 29, of course, because obviously with the expectations are, of course, to see accounts specifically with this EA, yeah, aggressive growth, of course. But the aggressive growth is not divided neatly per month, right? It doesn't come distributed like every month exactly 30%, right? Some months, February was 200, other month could be minus. It's the distribution is way more diverse than a regular percentage per month. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 months. I hope that we will see that growth like we did in August last year and in February this year. Typically, we had a slow 3 months as well. For instance, in October, November, and December. So it's not uncommon to see that. All right. Plus, yeah, there were, I think, a couple of trades were also missed in this time period because of server issues. As far as I remember, that should not happen now anymore as well. So these results are actually the real results are actually a tad worse than they should be, unfortunately. But those server, yeah, that's part of life, part of fact of you know progress and trying to get a better server. But that is solved, and that shouldn't happen. So I'm positive that we should see hopefully some good results in the next 6 months at least. And let's take a look at, yeah, those are the two main Ultima EA accounts. We also have one actually with 3% risk with a longer track record. Let me check that. here we go. Let's see. Ah, this is the one. Also, by the way, you can go to our members page. Like that. And you'll see also the backtesting that has been added, by the way. Ah, hi. Hi, Ali. Hi, Ilya. I didn't see your chats yet. Now I do. Here you see the link, by the way. So if you're curious for an overview of all the systems and also an overview of all the backtesting, you can do that through that members profile page. Okay. There's going to be one more added from Zusier with the highest risk because these two tests were done with the lowest risk. Not the lowest risk, but one of the lowest risks. And we also did a test with the max risk. I didn't get to it yet, unfortunately. This week was very chaotic and hectic for me, unfortunately. But maybe next week I'll have time to add that, and you would see the results in a 4.5 year time frame, but with a longer, with a higher risk, the max risk actually. So that's coming up. That's interesting. All right, so that you can find that there through this link right there, members profile. We also have, of course, a 3% account risk. Account with Ultima Ea that has even a longer track record, and it was also slightly negative actually in August. 3 slightly negative months. And let's see, currently 452. Slight drawdown here as well, a bit more than mine. Yeah, consolidation at this moment, a little bit more than my account. But those differences can materialize from account to account. All right, let's take a look at Zusier. It's going very steadily and sturdy. Last month, again, 8.1. I think it's off to really a very strong start, actually, because I think the average is a little bit less as far as I remember. I think the average monthly performance is around 6 or 6.5. So it's off to a stronger than expected start. Its performance the first month was 2.5% more. Second month, though, about 1.5% higher than average. So that's great. Good profit factor, as you can see, 1.5, 70% average wins. A lot of trades, 784 trades. So that's a lot of data. So the result was based on a lot of data. That's good. That makes it more sturdy, in fact. And up in total almost 20%, and the equity curve going very smoothly, as you can see. So if you're interested in the ZCA, by the way, but it's a bit too pricey, we are going to offer a profit share model soon, also with the ZCA, and that's coming up in sometime in September. I'm not sure exactly. I lost a lot of precious time this week, unfortunately, but it should be soon. I can't say exactly when in September, but we'll try to offer it sooner than later. That's for sure. Okay, so that's going to be interesting, and I think many of you would be looking forward to that. So there'll be no upfront costs or fees, but a profit share. You know, part of the profit will be shared then at the end of the month using the high water mark model. Drawdown 12%, by the way. All right, so maybe now it's a good time to take a look at your questions. Ilya, first of all, was first. What was the logic behind last trade? I don't know about the last trade. My personal account was in profit. It looks like the profit share account was also closed for profit, as far as I can see, looking at my FX book at least. Uh, are you renting the EA, Ilya? Okay, I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, my personal account and also the profit share members account closed for profit. So let's see, I'm not sure why it didn't close for you. That could be the broker difference, um, and it could have just a different TP based, or literally you missed it, the TP there by a pip, and that was the difference. Or there's a broker difference in the swing and therefore the target price swing. Can you see where the target? Are you renting through the VPS through Microsoft's VPS, or are you renting without the VPS? Ah, maybe it is available. I must say that I've been out of action this week, most of the week. Indeed, as Ali is writing, my wife and son were both in the hospital, so I wasn't able to really follow anything. They're doing fine. They're both out of the hospital now, so that's all good news. But yeah, if it's available now, that's great. Actually, that's even better. You're with the profit share. If you're with the profit share model, then you should have the same result as the main account. There should be no reason for any difference. So Ilya, your trade is closed. Uh, I'm a bit confused because you said it didn't hit the TP. So now I'm not sure how to understand that. So then I'm confused because you said the trade is closed, but it didn't hit the TP. Not sure how to interpret that. Well, it's the logic of the TP is done in such a way that there the TP is closer, or the take profit is closer when the trade is counter trend. So then it's going to aim at closer target, according to the logic of the EA for determining trends. If the trend, if there's a bearish trend and the trade is short, it will aim further. If there's a bearish trend and the trade is long, it will aim closer. If there's a bullish trend and the trade is a short, it will aim closer. If there's a bullish trend and there's a long, it will aim further. So if there's alignment, it will aim further. If there's no alignment, it will aim closer. In this case, there was a short. I assumed that the larger trend was still considered up, and therefore there was no alignment, and therefore it was aiming probably at a closer target because it's considered as a counter trend trade. If you, I don't think you can see the target, uh, so I don't think that that's what Ilya meant about trade closing before reaching the target because um, the target is not shown, so it's unknown. I think what Ilya is trying to understand is, yeah, okay, yeah, is this good? So yeah, that's the logic behind it. Not all trades and TPs will be going or be aiming for a big win. Some are going to be aiming for a small win. In fact, less than 1 to 1. It really depends on the context of the trend and also the swings and the fibs. And sometimes there are big wins, 2-1, 3-win, if if the circumstances are there and correct for that bigger win, then it will be aiming for that. Now, of course, there's a risk that sometimes that TP will get missed, and that does create annoyances with traders, because there's then often an open trade, an open, profit, and sometimes it misses and then creates a loss. But on the other hand, take a look at the wins, and if you look closely at the wins, and not only closely at the losses, you will see that many times there's a lot of the wins are not, there's not a win. There's sometimes there could be a win literally in an hour, but most of the time there's a lot of consolidation before price hits the win. So if you use a tight trail stop loss, you would miss all of those gains and those bigger pushes up, and it would significantly reduce the total profit in the long run. So I know it's tempting to look to scrutinize and really look at the losses very carefully, but I suggest and advise to do the same with wins, and you would then understand better the logic behind the EA. Because otherwise, if you only look at the losses, you won't get a fair balance in understanding the EA, if you see what I mean. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Yes, thank you, Ali. Definitely going better. That's good, step by step. Let's see. Let's go back to Soucier. Yeah, regarding the negative pips, well, basically it takes a lot of small losses and makes basically compensates that with bigger wins. All right. So that's why you will see negative pip, because you might have 10 losses with I don't know, 10 pips. So that's 100 pips, but you would have 4 trades with winning 25 pips. Let me think. No, that doesn't add up actually. Um, Maybe three trades of 25 pips that earn just as much. So you're negative 25 pips, but you earn more. So it basically makes the profit in a couple of bigger trades, not really, really big, and makes a lot of small losses. Well, not a lot, because still the overall win percentage is actually 70%. It is a bit confusing, but that's how the math ultimately works. So I guess maybe it's actually the opposite in that case. It takes a ton of trades. Let's take a look at them. We can take a look together. Actually, it's probably the other way around, maybe. Let's see here. You see 4, 5, 4, 4, 14, 1, 12, 4, 11, minus 2, 4, 45, 29, 15, minus 14, minus 28, minus 4, minus 96 here, for instance. So this minus 96 pips was done with 2 micros. So that's a lot of pip loss here. But here we gained 15 pips with the bigger lot size. So we actually compensated that loss just with 1 win. But in terms of pips, we're down 80 pips. In terms of actual money made, it's even. And then the next trade is already in profit. Here, look, minus 110 pips with 1 micro. So that would create a lot of pip loss, but not a lot of money loss. So that's the trick here. 1 second, folks. Give me 2 seconds. So that's how that math works. All right, let's see. Tao is saying that he's happy with the profit share model. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there are some options you have currently with the rental, and it could be a bit confusing indeed, because you have with the broker, without the broker, and then 3 options for both indeed. So that makes it a lot simpler. I agree. No, tinkering we never do. Although many traders want us to change the trades. I think that Tao is talking about Ultima Ea at this moment. Although there was a lot of pressure from traders to do that, uh, we never do that because of the fact that we think that we should always follow the long term advantage. And if we start grabbing a little bit of profit there sooner than the TP, yeah, that can make it all very tricky, and we could lose the opportunity to grow when there is that bigger kind of push up. So no, that is always a no-no in our eyes. Profit targets less is just yeah, depends on the situation of the chart and the targets. So is it trending or not? Where are the FIB targets? Because some FIB targets are going to be not skipped. Some FIB targets are going to be skipped. Some FIB targets are considered the main targets. So even in a trend, you might be still aiming at a smaller target because of the main FIB target is too close, and we're going to not aim past that main FIB target. If you're in a trend, but the main FIB target is still far away, then yes, we'll be aiming for a bigger win. But not if the trend is already extended. So with the euro dollar, it might have been considered already extended because of the fact that it was already way up here at 117, 118, 120. So maybe that's why it was aiming at smaller targets than before, back in parts of, for instance, probably in parts of July and June. Good question about which account needs to be open. Let me check. That's from Marco. That's an important one. So I'll try to get an answer on that. But I don't know myself. Yeah, the lot size does change, correct, depending on the formula and the situation that the pair is in. But what I meant is that with basically with 2,500, you would trade the minimum uh, lot size approach. Whereas if you would still trade the same lots, even if your account is 5K or 10K, unless you buy an extra license. Then you would trade with, if you trade with 7.5K to 7,500, then you would have three licenses. If you buy three licenses, then you would trade three times these quantities basically. So three times a micro when there's one micro, but three times uh, O11 if there's O11. That's how that would work. The profit share, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it would just work. The minimum is 2.5, but after that, I think you could just add what you want, and I think it would just be traded with the total lot size of the total capital trading. Can we trade? Can we run a back test from 2005 to 2009? I'm not sure. That's quite far back. I can ask Mislav. I don't think that Mislav will find it that relevant, but I don't want to speak for him because that's not really what he wanted to do with regard to this EA. He wanted to make EA that was for this time. Um, I don't think he thinks it's relevant if it did or didn't work at that time. I understand that for your feeling, it would be great, of course, if those results would be known. So I can ask him, but I'm just speculating what his answer could be. Zusier, I don't know. It's a 5 minute chart. I think that 4.5 years of backtesting on a 5 minute chart is really um, almost a crazy amount. I mean, if you find an EA on a 5 minute chart that is backtested more than 4.5 years, please let me know. I would really love to know. I really think that it's really, really, really a lot of data. It's like 330,000 candles. Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know if going. I don't know if that really makes sense with the 5 minute world. It's so small. But why specifically 2005, 2009? Why not? I don't know, 2011, 2015. We can do maybe I can ask. We can do for 4.5 years is really a test that takes like weeks and weeks. So maybe we can would 1 year or like 2 years be enough for you for somewhere back in the past, but shorter because it's really a lengthy test because they're literally uh, yeah 3,000 trades per year. So you can imagine what kind of calculations are needed. Last but not least, London Open Advanced. This is a bit slower, so this is -2, and the other one is -1. So this is not going to be as fast necessarily, but in the long run, it does add up, and it takes an account really, really far up year after year. It's not going to have that punch every month necessarily. Okay. So far, no punch yet, but nothing drastic to the downside either. Okay, great. So I will check with Mislav. I really have no idea what he thinks. I have a hunch that he will think it's irrelevant, but I will ask him. I will also check with the Zusier and see if we can do a small test that adds some data before 2016. Okay, any period before 2016, and get back to you on that. There was another question actually I forgot. Let's see. Oh yeah, the profit share. Okay, trying to get the answer on which PAM is needed. All right, let me check any questions available. No, no other questions in the form. So I guess that's it. The update on August. Thank you for your questions, reaching out. I'm going to get back on. Uh, Trying to get that answer still for. It says any. I'm not. Uh, okay, apparently. Trying to still figure out that answer. Okay, guys, I'm not going to figure it out in a live webinar. I will just try to paste the info here or let you know. Send us an email maybe because that's the best. I'm not getting any cooperation here. So, all right, send us an email, and if you're not sure which one, um, all right. Other questions came in. When is the next webinar? Should be on Tuesdays. Always on Tuesdays. Okay. Uh, is there any idea of putting ECS Live as a copy trade model? Uh, yeah, you can think about that. Something to ask Nennet indeed. And the last comment, I only got prompts that the Weimar is underway. Let's see. Okay. Oh, the webinar is underway. Uh, yeah. So basically, the usual time is Tuesdays 9:30. All right. Tuesdays 9:30 is the usual time. Except the end of the month, then it's in the evening actually. All right. There's an exception, but normally it's in the mornings. All right. Cheers, folks. See you all next week. Bye bye.